a Melbourne derby to decide the destiny of the championship trophy. And the sold-out signs went up around Amy Park earlier on this week. We could even go close to breaking the crowd record at this venue this evening. This unique decider really capturing the imagination of the self-styled sporting capital, which is living up to that billing here this evening. Melbourne then, a city divided, and although the stadium is currently bathed in darkness for a light show, the atmosphere is building. And so to the contest. Is it to be Melbourne City, who are appearing in their 5th grand final in 6 seasons, but have won the title just the once? Can they shake off their tag of showpiece occasion chokers at long last? They are the form team. They are 8 matches unbeaten, and with their injuries healing, they will feel they will never have a better chance of emulating their class of 2021. Or will it be Melbourne Victory, appearing in a 3rd consecutive final if you include the Australia Cup, but having lost the previous 2. The Navy Blue haven't been champions since 2018, when they claimed the title from 4th place. 5th would be unprecedented in the A-League era. The last team to do it, Adelaide City in the old National Soccer League back in 1994. And this is Victory's 8th grand final, more than any other club in the competition. Then of course there's the Derby form book, which shows that City haven't beaten Victory in the last 7 attempts, 787 days without success to be precise. Can they overcome that mental block tonight, or will Victory once again prevail? The players starting to gather, as you can see by the pictures on our Isuzu UTE tunnel cam. And the last time they met in finals football, you might remember, it went all the way to penalties. Don't be surprised if we have a similar sort of scenario tonight. Perfect weather for the big occasion here in Melbourne. It's been a dry, warmish sort of a day, and the stands packed to capacity for this one. The 2 teams almost ready to go. All that we're waiting for now is the trophy itself. The famous golden ring, originally modelled with a nod to the Olympic wreath, and the 2 trophy bearers today, one from each of the Melbourne divide. Jamie McLaren, the competition's all-time leading goal scorer with 150, and who of course represented Melbourne City, and Lee Broxham, Melbourne Victory legend, the A-League's all-time leading appearance maker with 383. That is what they are playing for this evening. Lee Broxham won the title with Victory on all 4 previous occasions. Jamie McLaren actually missed out when City won the title in 2021 because he was away on international duty. But at least he's got his hands on the trophy tonight, albeit briefly. It's been a big build-up in Melbourne all week. Lots of media, and those tickets fairly flew off the shelves, with the sold-out sign going up in midweek. Amy Park, a venue built for these sort of occasions. 30,000 capacity and virtually every seat filled as the 2 teams enter the arena. It's the 48th Melbourne derby, and this one is the biggest one of the lot. So the 2 teams spotting family and friends in the stands. Wave before we get things underway, and before we start the action on the pitch, we're going to have the Australian national anthem, but before that, our welcome to country, to be spoken by Colin Hunter Jr.
Please welcome to the field Colin Hunter Jr. to conduct tonight's Welcome to Country.
Good evening and welcome to the 2025 A-League Grand Final. It is an honour and a privilege to be here tonight. My name is Colin Hunter IV. I would like to start off by acknowledging that this evening we are on Wurundjeri country, home of my ancestors and also home to everybody here today. I wish to pay my respects to both elders past, present and emerging, elders from all nations, especially all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community members joining us here tonight. Wurundjeri is a part of the Kulin Nation and of the Warong language group. Wurundjeri country extends from the inner city of Melbourne across to the Great Dividing Range, west to the Werribee River, south to the Mordialloc Creek and east to Mount Baw. A big thank you to everybody who has helped make this event possible this evening. Wominjeka, welcome and enjoy the game.
Please be upstanding now, Amy Park, for the national anthem of Australia, to be performed by Maria Maroulis.
So let's have a look at the team news. Melbourne City make just one change from that second leg draw against Western United that secured their grand final passage. Matt Leckie is preferred to Alessandro Lapane in midfield. It's his first start since early March. Cyprian, Diego, Naboot and Nieuwenhuizen all remain sidelined with injury. But Lawrence Wong does return on the bench after suffering a fractured wrist during an NPL match 2 weeks ago. Nathaniel Atkinson and Marco Tilio, the only two survivors from City's last and only championship win in 2021. One change for victory as well. Casey Voss returns after missing the second leg in Auckland with injury. Josh Rawlins reverts to right back. Jordi Valadon and Zinedine Mashash to their more usual starting positions. The odd man out is Nishan Balupale, whose ankle injury rules him out, along with Brendan Hamill. Mitch Langerak is perhaps a surprise inclusion on the bench. Bruno Forderoli gets the chance to win a first championship at the age of 37. He's preferred once again to Nikos Virgos in attack. There is Nathaniel Atkinson, not just part of City's title win in 2021, but one of the goal scorers that day. And he also won the Joe Master Medal for the best player on ground, and just this week was voted into the PFA's team of the season for 24-25. A milestone for the victory skipper Roderick Miranda tonight. It's his 100th A-League appearance, and he's looking to become just the 4th victory player to lift the trophy as captain, after Carl Valeri, Mark Milligan and Kevin Muscat, who lifted it twice. Here's our team of officials, led by Adam Kersey from Queensland, who's just been crowned the A-League Referee of the Year. He'll be assisted by George Lacrindis, and Emma Kotzbeck. Sean Evans is the fourth official, and Lara Lee leads the team alongside Alex King in VAR. There's Arthur Dillis, who had to wait 7 matches for his first win as victory coach after the departure of Paddy Kisnorbo. And yet here he is in a maiden grand final, looking to follow in the footsteps of Ernie Merrick and Kevin Muscat in winning a title with victory. Aurelio Vidmar coaching in his second grand final 16 years after his last. His Adelaide United team in 2009 lost 1-0 to Melbourne Victory. So the perfect setting for the end of season showdown. The 20th in total, but never before have we had a Melbourne derby. The closest thing to this sort of occasion we had was probably back in 2008, when we had the F3 version of the derby between the Central Coast Mariners and the Newcastle Jets. The Jets winning on that particular occasion by 1-0. And here comes the match ball, delivered by Isuzu Mini D-Max. Looks as though it's got good steering as well. And the ball safely patched by referee Adam Kersey. Pitch in good condition. No other big sporting events on in Melbourne this weekend, so this really is the hottest ticket in town. And everybody waiting with bated breath for the latest instalment of this fixture, which has often been spiky in the past. Fixture dating back to 2010, when the then Melbourne Hearts entered the competition. So this Melbourne derby, the biggest one of them all. One with the championship trophy at stake. And this one, Andy Harper, like most of the others, probably too close to call.
Yeah, good evening, Simon, and to everyone. Oh, I think you're right. Two teams come in with full of self-belief and with a lot of local pride on the line. We've seen some ding-dong battles between these two teams over the seasons, but never with the stakes this high.
Here's Daniel Arzani looking to get around Nathaniel Atkinson. He's done so. First little incursion for victory, held up for now by City. Arzani's back here. Doesn't find Casey Boss. And City clear through Jonathan Cohen. You expect a fast and furious start. Victory looking as though they want to get on the front foot early. And tied it up by Kai Truitt at the expense of a throw.
Well, the victory starts have been pretty electric in these last few matches. I think to a couple of weeks ago here against Auckland, the game they ended up losing, but their first 20 minutes was really something, and they're looking to repeat that dose here on the back of knocking off the league winners last start over in Auckland. Now they can square up against their arch nemesis, who come into this game in good form themselves. This one really is set up nicely.
And the City defence had pushed up there, hoping to catch victory offside, or a mistake by Patrick Beach. Some big game nerves, perhaps, for the young goalkeeper.
Possibly.
He's saying he didn't touch the ball, but it is going to be a corner for victory.
Certainly worth the early pressure that Victory are looking to assert here. There's clearly a touch.
Or was there?
Now, we're not going to fight, are we? Argue?
Not today.
Not tonight.
Not today. Here's the corner in towards the near post. Mishash trying to reach it. It was jabbed towards goal by Miranda. City repel that. Back out with Arzani, former Melbourne City player, of course. Getting the boos from those in light blue. Arzani's jinked his way to the byline, and City again after scrambling away through Jonathan Cohen. Electric start by the navy blue. A bit of foul by Atkinson, but play allowed to continue. Here goes Zinedine Mishash. Off the head of Ferrer, who looks a little dazed. Ball hit him in the head pretty hard, to be fair. Victory come again. Casey Boss has run the ball behind for a goal kick, and Melbourne City will be relieved.
Yeah. Some respite for Melbourne City. Arzani's had two great incursions. The first, I think, he released a bit early once he got into the penalty area. This, I think the timing of his release was excellent. The angle on the pass, not great. Referee standing over Germán Ferreira, showing a little bit of concern. You called it, Simon. He took that ball on the face as it came through, and he appeared to you to be a little groggy. The ref agreed. So just giving him the quick once-over. So we haven't even had time, Simon, to identify the fact that Aurelio Vidmar has selected Matthew Leckie to play as the deep-lying holding midfielder. Here's the Masash effort, straight into the face of Ferreira. Great chance for victory. Thankfully, Ferreira is still upright and ready to play.
City have the ball inside Victory's half of the pitch virtually for the first time.
So there, centre screen, Matthew Leckie playing in a role that we haven't seen before, certainly at A-League level. Normally a winger, attacker, has played a bit of midfield this year, but further up the field, and you can only interpret that that side is why he's playing there, physically to take on Zinedine Masash. And that's a huge nod of acknowledgement to the physical power of the Frenchman.
Also gives a little more licence to Steven Ugarkovic, who's on the ball here, to roam a little further forward than perhaps he normally does. Both those two that we mentioned have suffered their injury concerns this season. It's been a hellish campaign in many respects for Aurelio Vidmar. Done so well to manage all those injury problems and get them into their 5th grand final in 6 seasons. Tilio trying to slip one through for Andreas Kuhn, but well read by Rawlins. A little deflection, wrong-footed Bajic. Masash shifts it in field for Valadon. Now gets it back and gets the head up once. Somebody to provide an option. That somebody is Daniel Arzani, but a heavy touch.
His first heavy touch of the night. He's had 3 chances now, 2 very, very deep incursions into Melbourne City. Just lost his way that time, Daniel Arzani, but we talk about big game players. And now is a real chance for Daniel Arzani to show himself as a big game player.
Shank up in the air by Ryan Teague and run by a much taller Max Caputo in the air. Out for a Melbourne Victory throw on the near side. Victory have the numbers in the stands, which is unusual for an away team in a grand final. Ball by Casey Boss behind Daniel Arzani. Leckie having a weave through a lot of traffic in midfield. Here's Marco Tilio, who shapes as being one of Melbourne City's match winners potentially, but he's given the ball away to Santos, and Masash races away. Here's a chance maybe for Fornaroli, held up though by Tilio, tracked all the way back to try and atone for his error. Valadon then unleashed from long range, but City by then had the numbers defensively. Now Santos has just slumped down to the turf in Tilio's attempts to win the ball back. He probably did foul Santos. Good advantage played by Nkurzi, but the Brazilian has come off worse for wear. A fair old rap to the ankle from Tilio. Talking of those great victory starts, Andy, you might remember the first derby between the pair this season. Victory were 3-0 up inside the opening half an hour, virtually blew Melbourne City out of the water.
Yeah, you're right, it's not a flash in the pan. A lot of commentary about the team's consistency. But within particular games, they've shown periods of sheer brilliance, and lack of finishing has stopped them from kicking away in particular games, but the fact that they've got to Championship Day is a testament to the quality of the players they've got. They've overcome whatever self-doubt might have been seeded at various times in the season. Here they are. They've started tonight's game very, very positively indeed.
Chock full of confidence, of course, after defeating the Premiers by 2-0 on their own patch of dirt in New Zealand last week. But a hold in it seemed initially from Ferreira on Bruno Fornaroli. Argentina against Uruguay, if you like. Much love lost there. Although Bruno, of course, fully fledged Socceroo these days. Tilio, Lecky, Truin, Ferreira, who seems none the worse for that ball to the face a few minutes ago. Truin's out ball is a good one, as is Bajic. Went beyond Tilio, who was well marked. Here's Andreas Kuhn, City's first chance off the crossbar, and the follow-up is rifled into the goal by Jonathan Cohen. And after all that early pressure from Melbourne Victory, it is City who strike first in the grand final, thanks to their Israeli international.
Hasn't Cohen made an impact in the finals? He's had his injury troubles as well. It's a beautifully crafted goal. It's a superb ball over the top from Truin, and as is Bajic, who's been dangerous at the attacking end of the field for Melbourne City in this final series, sets it up, and the Harvey Norman replay shows that when push came to shove, Melbourne City needed 2 bites of the cherry. The cutback from Kuhn was excellent, but then the rebound falls. Nothing can be done from Victory at that point. And Cohen just drives the ball. Classy from Kuhn. And Cohen slices the ball in to give Melbourne City the lead.
Well, virtually the first time City have threatened, and they have punctured the Victory defence. It's his 6th goal of the season. Means he's City's top scorer. And it's the 2nd earliest goal in A-League Grand Final history. Only Costa Barbarouse's strike for Melbourne Victory when they won the title in 2018 against Newcastle came earlier. And Victory rocked back on their heels. Andreas Kuhn arriving late on Roderick Miranda. And Adam Kersey wants a word with the Austrian. Well, that's really set the cat amongst the pigeons, Andy.
Not sure how. So there's Kuhn steaming in. Not quite sure how much contact. Miranda is now back on his feet. What a classy play.
Andreas Kuhn, just the 3rd Austrian to play in the big decider, following on from Richard Wingbickler, who also played for City, and Mark Janko. Both the previous 2 Austrians ended up on the losing side. Here's Arzani. And City doubling up to great effect on Victory's tricky winger. And they will know just how much of a threat he poses this evening.
Well, he started well, as we've said. The game and games swing on moments of application a lot of the time, and on that occasion, as you see, Melbourne City, their first attack. Victory couldn't apply themselves defensively. Rawlins got beaten by Bajic and Ryan Teague got beaten by Kuhn.
It is the 3rd Melbourne derby in a row that City have taken the lead. Counting against them is that they haven't won either of the previous 2. Still a long way to go in this grand final. Here's Josh Rawlins. Pressure on Kai Truitt. Turned over by Teague. Sent forward, rather off balance was Aziz Bajic. Ugarkovic opening up a path for Atkinson, and beyond him is Cohen. Ugarkovic fended away by Jordi Valadon. Azani trying to nip around the outside, and then the inside of Nathaniel Atkinson. Great play from the Socceroos winger, and now Victory have a free kick as well for the foul on Forderoli.
Made something from nothing there, Azani. Very sharp.
Turned back by Santos. And out off the boot of Josh Rawlins. That looks very flustered, Arthur Dillis. He's had plenty of setbacks in his short coaching career with Victory. He certainly won't be panicking just yet. Here's Germán Ferreira. Truing out for Tilio, went first time. Good determination shown by Bajic, and again he's gone beyond. Can he find the cross? It's not bad, but Jack Duncan out to smother.
One of the features of Melbourne City in recent weeks has how impressive they've been physically. And just look at the run. I know it's early, so we're not talking about players fatiguing yet. But he's put on a good chance here, Bajic, and he really was the key ingredient for the goal with that bursting run down the left. Victory need to really watch the running power and try and match it if they can of Melbourne City, or the game will get away from it.
It's a bit of a loose clearance by Jack Duncan. Somehow found its way through to Azani. That's a bit of a naughty challenge by Steven Ugarkovic. And Victory are incensed. Here's the first real flashpoint of the latest instalment of this fixture. It's a full-blooded challenge. It's a free kick. I'm not sure it's any more than that, but the replay may tell us a bit differently.
Well, Matthew Leckie's reaction was interesting. No, he actually gets the ball first and his feet are down.
I guess it's that sort of lunging motion that referees don't like, but I think that's a fair enough decision.
If I'm Steve Ugarkovic, I'm saying I'm getting to the ball first, and it's not my fault if Casey Boss puts himself in danger.
Azani's lost out. And he's all over Matt Leckie in his attempts to win the ball back, and has a bit to say to Adam Kersey. Just to keep a bit of a lid on it, Daniel Azani can be such a weapon for Melbourne Victory. But he just got frustrated here.
Yeah, that's just over exuberance. Nothing malicious, but it does give Melbourne City time to just kill the momentum of the game, and the time it's taken them to restart, the time it took them to get the ball back for the restart, I think is instructive. And they really don't want to get into a momentum race, if I can put it that way, with Victory. Victory at their best when the ball's zinging about and their touch and combination is working well. We saw it in the opening minutes.
Teague beaten to it by a biting challenge from Matt Leckie. Out it goes for a throw. Josh Rawlins down injured. And we can go down pitch side with Michael Zapponi. Evening, Zappa.
Yeah, good evening, gents. What an atmosphere. But what that goal has done, it has taken the Melbourne Victory crowd out of it for the moment. It was absolutely buzzing in those first few minutes. The north end where Melbourne Victory's goal was jumping, and the stadium was reverberating. But that goal from Melbourne City has quieted things down a little bit. A little bit of interesting byplay as well. Arthur Dillis being warned by Sean Evans, the fourth official, to tone things down. He hasn't been happy with some of the calls, and he said, I'll get rid of him. There'll be cards if this continues.
Thanks, Zappa. There's those two South Americans again. Free kick for Melbourne Victory. And Fornaroli, for me, is clever here. Very clever. He knows exactly where the player is. There you go. Just sticks the bum out, draws the contact, free kick.
And Ferreira's at that part of the field, mate. He's happy to take one there. Fornaroli gave him the target. He said, I'll just have a piece of this. I'll just set down a marker.
Zani's free kick. Santos looking to go beyond Bates. He's managed to get around him. Mishash. That's a really, really good block. Matt Leckie at the near post just threw himself in the path of that effort.
Yeah, Leckie v Mishash. It's already brewing as a massive subplot here. Santos does brilliantly. And Matt Leckie right on assignment. So too was Mishash, but he couldn't get the better of the Socceroo.
Barzani with the low delivery. It's hit away by Ferreira. Can Melbourne Victory breach what is statistically the best defence in the competition? By the way, it's the 20th time this season that City have taken the lead in an A-League game. Previous 19, they've won 14 and drawn 5, losses 0. Is that an omen? We shall see. They do have this habit, Andy, of being very difficult to shake off once they take the lead. Victory got plenty of weapons to change all that. Here's Zinedine Mishash. Break briefly for Valadon. It's an almighty scrap for the ball. Lifted back wide towards Santos by Teague and out off the head of Aziz Page. Run all the way through to Patrick Beach. Intrigued, Andy, in your thoughts as well. Those runs forward by Aziz Page. I just wonder if Victory are so conscious of the threat of Marco Tilio there, doubling up on him and opening up that space for Aziz Page to run through.
Well, it does take a lot of attention, Tilio, understandably. Focusing on him because he's so hard to contain does theoretically provide that extra bit of acreage for Aziz Page. And he's more than willing to accept that.
It was he, of course, that provided the run that set up the opening goal of this grand final. Here's Tilio. Leckie. Through German Ferreira. Switch of play from Kai Truin. Atkinson. Bajic. Andreas Kuhn. Chip into the box. A bit of contact between Miranda and Tilio. Tilio, to his credit, didn't try to make the most of it.
No, I think he lost his bearings just ever so slightly there, Marco Tilio. And letting the ball go. Just got the angle wrong, and so no trouble for Jack Duncan. Maybe some here brewing.
Casey Boss. Tripping the light, fantastic there, wasn't it? With so many City players around him, he did well.
He needed to remain very composed, because that was starting to get a bit sticky for Boss.
Nicely worked by Ferreira. Atkinson into the channel for Steven Ugarkovic. Lockie Jackson across. Corner ball. Scott Jamieson to the left of Aurelio Vidmar, who was the captain of City when they won the championship 4 years ago. Coaching as he played, vocally. This is a well-worn tactic from Melbourne City from these sort of set-piece situations, a whole cluster of players who now make their move, and it's awkward for Jack Duncan, who got a good solid fist behind the ball. Still there for Bajic, and arriving at the back post was Matt Leckie. It was a really good header, and Jack Duncan did well to hold on. Well, the sort of attempt on goal from Matt Leckie, Harps, that we haven't seen probably in the best part of a decade.
Well, it's a really strong header. Question marks again about Victory's defending. It's looking a little fragile. And as is Bajic delivering a beautiful ball. His Socceroo teammate there, and Melbourne City teammate. Jack Duncan was excellent on his own line.
Beach's distribution not the best. Here's Arzani, chance here for Victory to get square. It's Mashash! Oh, it's a really good save. Really good stop by Patrick Beach to atone for that little mistake.
Well, just watch this really carefully. Does Patrick Beach actually try and touch this around the post and mishandles it, I think? Because if it goes where he intends it, he has tried to palm that away, and I think that's going into the feet of a Victory player. Look at this from Jack Duncan. It's so difficult to do. There's a great header from Matt Leckie as well.
Three shots apiece. City have the one that matters. And building again here through Tilio on the left. As Kua in support. Bajic bombing forward, and nobody had tracked that run. If that pass had found its mark, Victory could have been in trouble. Again, the space opening up for Aziz Bajic. Now he's got to track back. Victory looking to spring forward. Jackson for Boss. Cohen trying to stick with it. Here's Bruno Fornaroli. Teague, Mashash. With a stop and prop, and Mashash goes for goal, but again, City had the numbers. Arzani probably tried the most difficult ball there to execute, Daniel Arzani.
Well, they've had as many openings and sights at goal and opportunities, but it's Melbourne City who've taken theirs. Caputo hitting the crossbar, and Cohen alert to the opportunity, giving his team the lead, putting Victory right back on their heels. But it unravelled for Victory defensively down their right-hand side.
Jonathan Cohen with his second derby goal of the season. Here's Daniel Arzani, and again City throw bodies in the way of the ball. This time it was Kai Truin. Great desperation in defending. Now Max Caputo leading the counter. Tilio steps inside, Josh Rawlins. And was trying to link up with Caputo once again.
Yeah, looking for a bit of help from referee Adam Kersey there, but just overcooked it. He's slicing through as he does with that amazing speed of his.
Talking of amazing, great camera angles from the blimp. Tilio. It's got caught by Daniel Arzani, who might just be treading a bit of a fine line here. Zani, by the way, has been booked in 6 of his last 7 finals appearances. Does play right on the edge at times. Meantime, we've had a change of shirt for Nathaniel Atkinson. Not quite sure what all that was about. Maybe a slight tear. There's the goal scorer. Not him, Jonathan Cohen. There we are. Adam Kersey not quite ready. Jonathan Cohen not happy with the ball. This one he prefers. Let's see what use he can make of it. City on plenty forward, but delivery just a little bit too flat, and Fornaroli was there to help it clear. And now Jordi Valadon on the charge. Casey Moss forced to turn back by Kai Truitt. Just for a moment, the counter was on there for victory. City so quick to recover.
Well, they do. They're in such great physical nick, Melbourne City. They do close that space very quickly.
There we go, the tackle count perhaps further underlining that theory. Undergoing crossfield, beautiful release. And the foul by Nathaniel Atkinson.
The touch from Santos, just letting them down there, because you can see just arriving in picture there. Casey Boss, it was a 2v1 situation. Matthew Leckie was a little bit behind as Boss was charging forward, and Santos kills that as it comes over. They've got clearly a 2v1 situation. Free kick's not a bad option as a leftover.
Nathaniel Atkinson aggrieved. He felt he didn't get much contact on Santos. Went away muttering in pretty coarse Taswegian. Zani's free kick delivery, and it's off the head of Miranda and behind for a goal kick.
Well, it's another sided goal. Miranda rising highest, but with his back to goal couldn't control the header once he'd spun. Without their attacking opportunities so far, Melbourne victory.
City still with a clean sheet against their name for the moment. Conceded only 13 first-half goals all season. That's easily the lowest any club in the competition. Here's Casey Boss. Took a while to get the ball under his spell. Another foul, this time by Cohen.
And look, you identified it, Simon. Melbourne City's ability to recover in time is awesome. But they're being aided and abetted in these last 2 opportunities down the left-hand side for victory, and a lack of technique. And the ball arrives at Casey Boss. It's clearly an attacking advantage with the fullback to be isolated. But the touch brings the City players into play.
Zani's free kick, helped on by Mashesh, out by Atkinson. Here's Santos, and yet again, City get a body in the way. This time it's Jonathan Cohen, and there are 1 or 2 shouts for handball against the Israeli international. Let's have another look at it. No. In a word. Not for me, anyway.
No, I agree.
Arms are by his side. Teague. Santos. Challenged by Leckie. Exactly why he's in that role this evening. All the different positions we've seen Matt Leckie play. I'm not sure the old water carrier would have been high on my list to see him in tonight. Here's the first yellow card. Jonathan Cohen is the name in the notebook, probably with a foul on Casey Boss fresh in the mind for referee Adam Kersey. Yeah, it's a clear foul.
And I think you're right, it's a quick succession of them. I mean, there's nothing particularly egregious about this from Cohen, but referee Kersey trying to take potential a little heat out of the occasion if he feels it's necessary.
So a yellow card to go with his goal for Jonathan Cohen. And a free kick here for Melbourne Victory. They've had a few. Arzani on delivery duty again, and it's off the head of Ferreira. And thumped upfield by Steven Ugarkovic. Where Geordie Valadon is stationed. Now Boss. Lachlan Jackson in unfamiliar territory on the left wing. Casey Boss running into traffic. Atkinson goes down rather theatrically, but he's not going to get the whistle. Both teams doing their best to impress referee Adam Kersey. No foul there, and Cohen is perhaps grateful, and then there's a bit of afters from Arzani, and this is all degenerating a little bit into tit for tat.
Well, it's because both teams are just contesting everything so keenly, trying to win the ball back quickly. Atkinson calling for a foul there, pretty quickly to his feet, it should be said too. That was one of those clips that happens from time to time, and they all tend to compound one on top of another. The referee's got his hands full at the moment.
Last 5 shots have all belonged to Melbourne Victory. One very good save from Patrick Beach. One very good block from Matt Leckie to deny Zinedine Bashash among them. There we go. Look at that desperation from the City defence. 6 blocks. Ferreira. Room here for Atkinson. Steps clear of Bashash. Bache. To take evasive action with Fornaroli arriving. Good control play by Melbourne City. Leckie. With Truitt. Leckie with time. Atkinson. Well, that give and go with Cohen. Very nearly paid off, but Atkinson just getting the ball caught between his feet.
I'm not sure if the ball was meant for him from Cohen. I think he was interpreting Atkinson as being the third person run. Atkinson, he's had a terrific season for Melbourne City, he really has. I mean, if the team prevails tonight, he and Aziz Bayic, probably the two, Kai Truan, the three of them, have carried the biggest load. Other players have dropped with injury. Those three have prevailed. Been enormous for their football club.
Imagine Nathaniel Atkinson is one of those who's got his eye on getting his Socceroos spot back at some point. Was, you might remember, the starting right back in the first game of the World Cup in 2022. Is Aziz Bayic. Near post was Max Caputo, who did get the final touch. Goal kick.
Aziz Bayic. Just so dangerous down the left-hand side. Victory defended this one much better, because Caputo's a menace. He's really growing in stature as a striker and getting in between the two centre-halves, trying to arrive at that front post.
That's his page, by the way. Despite being in his mid-30s, appearing in just a second grand final. His first was for Victory, all the way back in 2010. As Valadon tries to break the line and hangs it up, but Trewin is there for City. Then Teague, and Mashash had no control. One back by Santos. Tilio scrapping away for it. Teague comes away with the ball. Turned over rather casually and carelessly by Valadon. And then likewise by City. Here's Boss. Mashash. Mashash to have a go. And Patrick Binch right behind him.
Worth a go, but as soon as Mashash received the ball and opened up for goal, Melbourne City players, on this occasion it was Steve Ugarkovic just closing him down really quickly. It was a good effort in the end from Mashash, but he was asked to rush things a little bit, not set it up the way he wanted.
A little bit careless by Leckie in possession. Here's Daniel Arzani. Straight at Trewin, and now the break is on for City. Or at least looking for Marco Tilio. Well defended by Miranda, and both he and Tilio are hurt in that little collision.
Well, the Melbourne City bench up as one off their seats and onto their feet, thinking this is a last player challenge. I think he gets the ball from that angle.
This will be the better angle.
Yeah, clearly gets the ball. Referee has done that brilliantly. That's why he's got the gong for tonight, Adam Kersey. Which doesn't mean it's any less uncomfortable for Marco Tilio. But that was potentially, Simon, a heart-in-mouth moment for Victory fans. Open space to attack a contestable ball. Miranda versus Tilio. All things being equal, who do you back?
Well, if you believe those numbers, you back Roderick Miranda at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
And that little touch there was crucial. City are furious. And the two benches exchanging some words, not too friendly ones, I'd wager. Sean Evans in the middle of them as fourth official. Marco Tilio back to his feet, if a little groggily. Let's go down to Michael Zaboni quickly, Tapper.
Yeah, the two assistant coaches going at it then, and just interesting, Arthur Dillis telling his coaching staff not to get engaged over there. Focus on the game. There's a lot of work to do on the pitch.
Thanks, Tapper. Quite enough on that one from Ryan Teague to find its way through for Mashash. Teague again. Arzani. Again, look how City players converge around the ball. That might have been a foul by Leckie. Now the whistle does blow in favour of the Victory man. And they are tigerish this evening, City.
Right, they've got the bit between their teeth there. And they have to be tonight, because Victory has started really well. They've been good with the ball. A little bit proppy a couple of defensive occasions, Victory. But still looking very dangerous in possession.
Ball won't stick for Fornaroli. Off the head of Lockie Jackson. Arzani. Mashash under pressure. Couldn't find the solution. There we go, Melbourne City. They've attacked a lot down this left-hand side. Occasionally it's been Tilio, but more often than not, as we mentioned already, Andy, it's been Aziz Bayic making that third-man run and finding the space. Here goes Nathaniel Atkinson. It's a driving run, which is eventually brought to a halt by Casey Boss. Now Victory must spring forward quickly. Arzani weaving his way like a slalom skier through traffic. Mashash. Curran snapping away at his ankles. Yeah, and that too often is the end result for Victory because of that pressure.
It is, and they haven't really got a lot of time in possession to get their head up and look forward. And when they do, the City job in front of them is pretty compact, very, very muscular and combative. Not a lot of space for Victory to work in. They're having to do extras to earn the opportunities to attack, which on Championship Day is the way it should be. And they've still forced enough chances, sights at goal, to believe that they can break City down, get themselves back square. But in some senses, easier said than done.
Yeah, Santos has yanked Tazi's Beach to the floor. It's going to be a free kick for Melbourne City. Well, he was using the arm as leverage rather than as a weapon. It's certainly a foul. But Adam Kersey decides it's no more than that. Half-time approaching. Ball to bounce on through from City's point of view. There's just a moment's panic and indecision between Beach and Ferreira. It's the first of 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. And is this scoreline a decent reflection of what we're seeing? Those shots on goal would suggest not, Andy.
I know, interesting, isn't it? Because I think it is a fair reflection of just how primed City are, but it's not a reflection on how threatening Victory have been. Fascinatingly poised this game. It's been a good first half, a wonderful contest.
The air by Bajic, missed by Caputo. Who will it settle? It's Andreas Kuhn. He just ran out of room, the Austrian. Here's Mashash. Does well to find that space, and great use of the body from Fornaroli. Little touch from Arzani, and the infringement by Ferreira. And Roderick Miranda is across as Victory captain to have a conversation with Adam Kersey and inquire as to why there is not another yellow card being shown. Does he have a case, Andy?
No, I just think it's a free kick, but Ferreira on the way past, just a little tap on the head of Daniel Arzani, who tried to attract the attention of any match official who was in the precinct. Not a lot in it. Just a little bit more pepper on the meal.
Well, we played the 2 additional minutes, so this may well be the last attack of the first half. Arzani too flat, but sprays up and back towards the penalty area off Bajic. Here's Miranda. Going to be a Victory throw, but there will be no time for it to be taken. That is half-time in the 20th grand final. And at the break, it's Jonathan Cohen's goal, which came after 10 minutes after Max Caputo had hit the crossbar from Aziz Bajic's cross. That is the difference between the two sides. Matt Lackey's forced a good save out of Jack Duncan. At the other end, Zinedine Mashash, likewise out of Patrick Beach. Mashash has had a couple of efforts charged down by City defenders. Plenty of opportunities for victory, but as yet, no way through. But this grand final, still very much in the balance. At the moment, though, slightly favouring Melbourne City. At the break, in the 48th Melbourne derby, it is Melbourne City 1, Melbourne Victory 0.
MasterChef favourites are back to serving up the most magical creations we've ever seen. They're all back for one thing to win that trophy. MasterChef back to 7:30 Sunday to Wednesday on 10 at 10 play. And the assist of the Luck Award goes to eToro. Goals require assists, so to your financial goals of eToro with the assistance of over 35 million users. Ask questions, explore other investment strategies, performance and investments, get insights and ideas to build your ultimate portfolio from a wide variety of assets like global and local shares, crypto, ETFs, and so much more. Join eToro, proud sponsor of the A-Leagues.
Does your network code? Get on it does. Boost mobile. Big coverage. Mega value. Perfect 5G. Only full Tesla prepaid mobile network coverage. Switch today. Boost.com/you. Living in home loans, in detail. They have benefit details. You don't get these. Stipulations. The future free visa. You'll be right at home. Liberty. Loans for creators.
Get ready to cheer, just like Liberty supports the A-Leagues. They're on your team too. When you're planning a holiday or buying a new home, they can provide the assist you need to get your frequent goals. Liberty, loans for 2050s.
Well, let's start having a bit of fun here at halftime. With thanks to Isuzu UTE, it's time for the kids versus the pros. Now, you might have noticed we have 60 kids out in the pitch with thanks to Isuzu UTE for what's set to be a battle of skill versus will. So we have 3 pros, 60 kids saw themselves down in what's set to be a battle of the night. Forget the real game. This is what it all comes down to. Leo, you're with the pros. Let's see how we're going to do it.
20 years in the A-Leagues, Steve, Maddie and Russ Madoka are joining us tonight. Some of us have grown up watching you boys play in the A-Leagues. Steve, to you first. We are surrounded by kids right now. Did you ever think in your footballing career you would end up at this point?
No, I didn't. We've got a bit of a game plan. People might know that I've got a few takers, so I'm looking forward to it tonight.
Alright, Maddie, I'm going to jump in here. You were known at the Wellington Phoenix and here in Melbourne City for being one of the hardest defenders Please do not break any of these children's legs. What is the game plan tonight?
Keep an eye on our very famous Isuzu UTE Max coming up on the pitch. And look at that. Beyond the bar. It's unbelievable. There we go.
The kids score. Here they come. Making his way back to cover the open goal at the moment as 60 kids make their way in front of goal. Will the kids cover their advantage here in the pocket? They will. Another Isuzu UTE goal here at halftime.
see the Bros been on the board here. On the edge of the box, just an absolute clog of an offensive unit there. Absolute wall forming here. Isuzu with that spears. Oh, 1 minute to play here. You get the kids there back on the board once again. Give them a massive cheer if they can. Here they come pressing forward. There's a lot of legs to contend with. Still pushing forward. That seek out the forest. One chance. 40 seconds left. Can they find a way to get a score on the board? They need legends out here on the pitch. Oh my! There's some sort of run, but good bit of 25 seconds left.
Alright, here we go on the clock. 10 seconds to go. Check the pros, 5-1, all the kids find a third. 4, 3, 2, 1. That is full time here. The Isuzu UTE pros measures kids 2, pros nil.
Say hello to the Ninja Slushie, the easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home. No ice means no watered-down drinks. No blended means smooth, perfect texture. Just pour, slush, and enjoy. 5 one-touch programs for any drink you want. Transform almost anything. Enjoy perfect results every time. You can make it with the Ninja Slushie.
Well, say hello to Ninja Slushie, the easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home. No ice means no watered down drinks. No blending means smooth, perfect texture every time. Just pour, slush, and enjoy. 5 one-touch programs for any drink you would want. Enjoy perfect results with the Ninja Slushie.
Liberty Home Loans, it's different. They're for the three things.
Alright, 3 minutes and a half to turn this around. 45 minutes to decide the fate of this grand final. Get behind our boys in blue. Melbourne Victory fans, make some noise!
45 minutes is all the 10 weights left between now and being crowned champions of Australia. Those in City Blue, let us hear you make some noise!
An iconic setting for an iconic game. The first ever Melbourne Derby Grand Final, but at half-time, it is Melbourne City, who haven't won a derby since April 2023. They have the advantage courtesy of Jonathan Cohen. Here's the Isuzu Utes. Many D-backs to deliver the match ball once again to referee Adam Kersey, who was kept busy in that opening 45 minutes. Largely kept his cards in his pocket, to the frustration, mainly, it must be said, of Melbourne Victory. Jonathan Cohen, the goal scorer and the only player cautioned. So City, 45 minutes from glory. It's theirs to lose. Melbourne Victory, 45 minutes. Andy Harper to avoid losing 3 major finals in a row.
They've got a big job in front of them. Melbourne Victory, they've played well enough in that first half to believe that they can turn this around. But they're just in such ominous shape, Melbourne City. They've had to defend their goal frequently, but they've done it really resolutely.
Both teams now attacking the ends of the ground where most of their supporters are located. Let's see if that gives one or perhaps both of them a lift. Here's Jonathan Cohen, he's got a lovely left foot, and that's a really lovely save too by Jack Duncan to deny him, because that was angling in.
Decent early sider. He scored that beautiful goal there or thereabouts against Western United a couple of weeks ago. And desperate Jack Duncan, it's a really good save at full stretch.
Does produce a City corner though, which Marco Tilio is about to deliver in towards the near post where Miranda was stationed. All the way out for a throw. Ball just got away from him a little. Back with City now. Here's Max Caputo. And the ricochet favours Teague. And Arzani with a lovely angled release for Zinedine Mashash, and Victory steaming forward, but again just not the release ball that they required.
He's missed a cue a couple of times tonight, Mashash. He's also looked very dangerous at times. Of course, that good block from Matthew Leckie in the first half for a shot that was certainly goal bound, but there's been a few times in transition where he's just lost his way, Mashash, and played into the hands of Melbourne City.
No doubt aware of just how quick Melbourne City are to recover defensively their shape. They've had a few little instances like that, Victory. Haven't really been able to take full advantage. Nice interchange between Kuhn and Bajic to get City up the park. Bajic again. Ugarkovic has made a run into the channel. Quite able to find him. Steadied down by Jackson. Here's Arzani, Teague, Mashash and Santos. Ferreira too strong for Arzani. And Leckie is down. May well need some attention. Oh, ouch. Yeah, accidental, but goodness me. Produced a bit of clarence on the end of that.
Yeah, that was a nasty exchange. Accidental, as you say. What a key matchup. Mashash has had his opportunities. That unbelievable football physique that is Matthew Leckie doing a huge job in midfield for his team.
Well, you could never say it's a risk starting a player of Matt Leckie's experience in a grand final, but he's had such injury problems this season. Nose injuries not among them, that must be said. And it's been a masterstroke so far, at least, to put him in that midfield role.
Well, interesting that, and this is a gash on the outside. The bleeding isn't going to be stemmed anytime soon, you wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, it's a nasty cut, that one, isn't it? Let's have a look at this save from Jack Duncan to deny Jonathan Cohen a few moments ago.
Well, he catches it beautifully, Cohen. Very, very talented player. Only had one idea as soon as that ball became available to him. And Duncan scrambling, but did so well to see that away for a corner.
The athleticism of the game, beautifully captured by our cameras. Let's go down to Michael Zapponi, who's pitch side for us as Matt Leckie has the tape applied. He's going to look like an Egyptian mummy in a minute.
Yeah, he's one of the hardest men in Australian football, Matt Leckie. It takes a lot to get him down, so he will be back up, and he wants to continue this one. He's starting this game for the first time in a long, long time. He's come back from injury, so they'll do the patchwork. I spoke to Gaman Ferreira just at half-time as he was coming up the tunnel. the steely look of determination about the Argentine. He's been sensational for them, especially over the last month. Remember, early in the season, he couldn't get a game. Samuel Suprain was the one who was starting at centre-back, but Ferreira has been very, very good for Aurelio Vidmar.
Thanks, Zappa. Well, he's not going to win any beauty prizes for that look, is he, Matt Leckie? But let's hope it does the job in stemming the bleeding, because that was a nasty cut.
Really nasty. You wonder if they're going to have to punch a couple of holes there.
As the injured players, or some of them, for Melbourne City, Samuel Suprain and Andrew Naboot, who's been out for most of the season, along with Jimmy Jagger. 3 very experienced players not able to be part of today's showpiece occasion. Yeah, I mean, you're right on Leckie. The other issue for him is it can really affect the breathing for obvious reasons.
You just need to get a biro or something and punch a couple of holes, but that blood is still trickling out. This is going to need some more attention, you'd reckon. But Zappas is right. I don't know if there's anyone tougher in the comp. He's an incredible athlete. Look at him go.
Cohen, Atkinson, can he find the right delivery? That's Caputo beaten to it at the near post by Jackson.
Of course, this is Matthew Leckie's 3rd grand final. He's yet to win one. Hannibal Lecter on the charge.
Arzani. Now Fornaroli up against Ferreira, who's been shadowing him all night. Arzani. Victory yet to really create anything in this second half. And Katie Boss completely lost his bearings there. Certainly where Daniel Arzani was positioned anyway.
Well, this opening 52 minutes, physical output from Melbourne City, Simon, has been so effective that Valadon and Teague, 2 of the shining light midfielders in the league, have basically been unsighted as far as a midfield partnership setting any sort of tone for their team. They've had outstanding seasons both. They're great players, but they've found it really difficult to carve out any space for themselves here tonight.
Fornaroli giving chase, but Beecher was the favourite, and he got a little nudge from Ferreira as well, his shadow. A few exchanges in Spanish, I'd wager, between the 2 of them already tonight. Well read by Boss. This could be more promising for victory. Wide left is Daniel Arzani. The victory fans lift the noise levels. Little stumble by Boss. Well defended by Atkinson.
Well, the stumble clearly didn't help Boss, but he didn't need a second invitation to get his body in the way there, Atkinson, and then be too strong. Geordie Boss has still got some sort of advantage in the front position, even though he stumbles, but that little half opportunity, and Atkinson wasn't going to be beaten, and that sort of application has been replicated right across the field by the City players.
Wonderful backdrop to this 20th Isuzu UTE A-League Men's Grand Final. It's a little bit attritional out there at the moment. City still with their precious but slender lead intact through this man, Jonathan Cohen. Here goes Zinedine Mashash. Santos. Again, look at how City get numbers around the ball. Victory fans pleading in vain for a free kick. City come away with the ball. Andreas Kuhn. A great article on the Austrian this week on the A-League's website. Never won a trophy in his long career. Beaten in a cup final once in his native land for Rapid Vienna. They love a championship. There's the pictures from our Hahn Super Fan Cup. Victory fans trying to get some rhythm going, and their team is labouring likewise on the field. Ticking towards the final half an hour. Team can't reach that one. Caputo. Tilio. Steadied down by Leckie. Calmly done by Truin. Atkinson. Cohen. Gets away from Boss and was claiming he'd been impeded by Arzani. Now Ferreira once again gets the better of Fornaroli. He's certainly won that contest so far.
Yeah, and the Victory players are just getting second by second, duel by duel, possession by possession, just squeezed out of the game.
Floated forward by Ugarkovic. Cohen with the return ball. And Ugarkovic set the corner. He's a little frustrated. It's not more for City.
Crucial for Victory at the moment. Really got to straighten themselves, clear their heads and their eyes. First time in the game, they look to have just dropped. They've had a couple of defensive frail moments, I should say, in that first half. But they came and went. It's just the last signs that City were really starting to turn the screws on them.
Cohen's corner. Duncan thought about coming, and it was very close to being an own goal off the head of Ryan Teague at the back post.
Well, Ferreira scored the opening goal against Western United on that back post. Teague being enough of a nuisance.
Marco Tilio from the other side. Caputo darting towards the near post. Duncan fists away. Calls for handball against Santos. Not heeded. It's an awkward fall for Germán Ferreira. Just went rolling over the top of Arzani. Down really heavily, the Argentine. It allows Arthur-Dillis to have a little word with Ryan Teague and maybe Leckie to seek further assistance. That one doesn't tickle either halves when you sort of belly flop down onto the turf.
It's a heavy landing.
Change for Melbourne Victory whilst you're watching that replay. It's the on loan Alex Badalato to replace Cleris Mario Santos, who in common with a few of his teammates has found it tough going in an attacking set so far in this grand final. Let's see what the loanee from Western Sydney Wanderers can do. Still oozing out of that cut to the nose for Matt Leckie. A little bit surprised the referee hasn't instructed the medical team to come on and do further repairs.
Just not a millimetre of space for the Victory players at the moment.
City have kept 12 clean sheets so far this season, 7 of those in their last 11 home matches here at Amy Park. The only thing that counts against that, of course, is that it's also Victory's home ground. Here's Boss. Mashesh. present Atkinson alongside. Azadi. Victory working really hard to try and find some space. Shash and Atkinson locked in mortal combat for the ball here. And in the end, Victory get a very hard-earned corner. Brought those fans to life. Behind Patrick Beach's goal. Under half an hour to go. Victory perhaps with their first real threat of this second half. It's Arzadi's corner and Kai Truitt's header away. Ryan Teague. Atkinson had time. Melbourne City, and they just have Victory in a vice-like grip at the moment.
Incredible. It's well, they've got them in the figure-4 leg lock and just squeezing the life out of them. They're just so primed for this physically.
Little deflection does favour Casey Boss. Now there's maybe a chance for Victory. Mashash. Ferreira with a foul. And there's going to be a card as well for the Argentine. And they do well not to kick the ball away anymore. Otherwise, the hue of that card may well change, as it is just a yellow.
Well, it's a nice little break here from Victory, the link between Boss and Arzani, and maybe Boss could have carried that ball a little deeper just to commit a City defender out of position. Maybe tellingly, as the game goes on, Ferreira might have to cool his heels just a little bit now on that yellow card. And Arzani have been, Melbourne Victory have been dangerous from these Arzani free kicks, certainly in the first half. His first chance in the second half for us to have a look at what sort of nick they're in. How hungry are the Victory? How good can the delivery be?
Patrick Beach on red alert. Should that be navy blue? Azadi sends up the signal. Ball loops up in the air and it's nodded towards goal. In the end, rather tamely by Badalato. The noise around the stadium dissipates. Beige. It's not a bad ball, and Max Caputo's roll clear of Jackson and shoots wide. And he had Jonathan Cohen and Steven Jugarkovic as free as you like alongside. But he went for glory himself. How big a miss might that prove to be?
It's a massive moment. You just have to feel that he didn't fully realise how much time he had. Maybe a little disoriented as he got rid of Lockie Jackson, and then the striker's instinct, I'm just going to swing for goal. But look at Jugarkovic. He's a kill the ball and roll it 2 yards away, and Jugarkovic would have had the whole goal.
And had he missed, Jonathan Cohen was following in behind him.
That's a big moment. A big moment for City. A big escape for Victory. And now they've got maybe big problems with their big man at the back, Lockie Jackson.
That is Max Caputo's last involvement. Needs to be replaced by Medin Mehmeti. That Lecky undergoes further running repairs, and Lockie Jackson still down for Melbourne Victory. Seemed to twist awkwardly in that movement with Caputo some moments ago. Whether he's just twisted an ankle slightly. He's got the joint most clearances tonight, along with City pair of Ferreira and Truin. Doesn't look too comfortable on that left ankle. Max Caputo still running that moment over and over in his mind, no doubt. think his roll, that left ankle. Ouch. It's going to be a sore one tomorrow for Lockie Jackson. Is he going to be able to continue, though? Victory do have defenders Josh and Serra and Adama Traore on the bench if required. So for the moment, Victory down to 10. Once they decide on a verdict for Lachlan Jackson, he's back with us. For now, anyway.
That's a nasty one, but he's going to soldier on.
To play by Daniel Arzani. Well, credit to him because he's made something out of absolutely nothing there.
It's a little moment, Simon. I don't know if you agree with this. It's a little moment that sums up the rebirth of Daniel Arzani. The effort to put in that extra little bit to make something from nothing. And now he's charged with dropping the ball on the spot for a teammate to score from the corner. And won't that bring the house down?
Well, the Victory fans back in the game. Meantime, there's a little bit of a shirt front going on between Lockie Jackson and Germán Ferreira. That Leckie's got involved there as well. Aziz Behich is front and centre too. Now Truin Teague and Miranda involved in push and shove. I'm not quite sure what sparked that.
Well, it was Lockie Jackson getting shirt fronted by Germán Ferreira. That's what started it. On the goal line.
Adam Kersey keeping a watching brief on all of this before he decides what action to take. And the two main protagonists have been called over to speak to him. Ferreira, of course, is on a yellow card. So he's got to be, if anything, more careful than Lockie Jackson. Well, you can cut the tension with a knife here. Final quarter of the game, Arzani's corner. Seen out at the near post by Mehmeti. Back with Arzani. Lovely feats. But it's a goal kick in the end for City.
Well, you can't criticise the endeavour. And he's got the taste for it. Here's what set things going.
In the end, Adam Kersey deciding just a talking to was enough.
And Arzani then, as the ball comes out, backs himself. So he skips around a couple, and then the third player in Atkinson, who else? I just think maybe Arzani he had an easy pass for Ryan Teague, just to set things and keep the pressure on.
Mehmeti will give chase, but Randa was goal side. It's a foul by Nathaniel Atkinson. And an otherwise near flawless display. Yes, as things stand at the moment, Hearts, there's still a fair chunk of the game to go. He's got to be in the conversation again for the Joe Masterman.
Yeah, he's had a wonderful season. He's having a strong game here again today.
Award named after the legendary Australian who was the first to play in an FA Cup final. There we go. 7 tackles this evening, 4 clear of the next best. Always been able to keep Daniel Arzani quiet, but certainly had limited impact. City fans behind the goal, believing that after so many near misses, perhaps tonight is their night. Here's Cohen, his goal has given them that belief. Ball still in play. Ferreira. Behich. Back through Truin. Jarkovic. Azani got a piece of it. Fornaroli. Dragged back by Bajic. That's again got to be pretty close to a yellow card, you'd think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why that's not. I mean, there's stopped an attack. It was nowhere near close to being a football challenge. Anyway, in a difficult set of circumstances, the ref has done a terrific job tonight.
There's Mashash finding a rare little pocket of space between the lines. Miranda. Atkinson wins the aerial duel with Boss. City turn defence into attack. Cohen. The back heel brings Jarkovic into play. Lecky showing.
We get to the last 20 minutes. We've just entered that. There'll be some serious stoppage time. That's a long way off, but 70 minutes in, and you just wonder how much petrol is left in the tank of some of Melbourne Victory's guns. Gun players. Arzani doesn't often run out 90 minutes.
Here's Tillia gliding away from Rawlins. That's definitely going to be a yellow card.
Mashash often substituted late. Rawlins bringing down Tillia. Bruno Fornaroli in the autumn of his career. How much run left there? And without being able to run with Melbourne City, how did Victory break the grip?
Well, they're preparing two substitutions. Nikos Virgos and Josh and Serra are going to be on next break in play. Might be the end of the section for Bruno Fornaroli. May well be his last game in Victory colours, to be confirmed. This is not the way he would want to go out. Free kick to defend here for Victory. Cohen's delivery, and Ferreira heads over. And here's that double change for Melbourne Victory. Lachlan Jackson, of course, injured some minutes ago. He's replaced by Josh and Serra. And Bruno Fornaroli gives way for the introduction of Nikos Virgos, a player who has served with distinction for both Melbourne clubs. And I guess if that is to be the last we see of him in this city at least, Andy, then the two sets of fans really should thank him for his contribution.
You'd like to think so. You'd like to think so, but I don't get any sense that Bruno's ready to pack up.
No.
But where's the life for Victory going forward? And time will just keep ticking away, and they're showing less of a likelihood to find the punch and the penetration, the touch, the inspiration.
Lachlan Jackson still grimacing from the after effects of that rolled left ankle. Victory desperately trying to find some inspiration to go with their perspiration. Atkinson has been dogged, a little bit too dogged on that occasion. And Arzani.
Great tackle. I mean, doesn't it sum him up? And then Arzani, you know, he's got an appetite for it. Clearly he was fouled, Arzani, in the end. And just making sure everybody knew he was fouled, if I can put it that way.
Into the final quarter of an hour. You wouldn't necessarily say it's been a classic grand final, but it has been intense.
Very intense.
And that goal that arrived as long ago as the 10th minute from City's number 10 remains the difference. And Serra trying to clear his lines, only finds Bajic. Tilio races onto the loose ball. City have plenty forward in the box. 2 at the back post. Oh, that should have finished it. Jonathan Cohen with the goal gaping. And he's put it well wide. Now that's 2 big chances City have now missed to seal this contest.
Well, I mean, the only thing maybe that Mehmeti caught his eye with Mehmeti's first move to head it, then he realised there's a better player behind me position, and he knows it. Oh, Vidi's even heading the ball from the technical area. That was game, set, match.
Victory's hopes in that moment hanging by a thread. But twice City have now been very profligate, faced with very presentable opportunities. Can Victory first of all create one and then take one? They've created precious little in this second half. Arzani's touch, Burgos, and again City smother the life out of Victory possession. And then Tilio's chopped down, and it's another yellow card. This time for Josh and Serra, and it's on once again.
Well, Matthew Leckie might get a little bit of a tickle up here from the ref for being the second man in. There's a clear yellow card in the first instance.
Well, no question that Josh and Serra deserved the yellow card. Chopping down Marco Tilio in full stride.
Yeah, and Leckie with the yellow card there. And Serra yellow, Leckie yellow.
It's still the scoreline, City blue. Only on the pitch a matter of minutes, Josh and Serra. He's had a good breakthrough campaign. He's going to be off with the young Socceroos. Start of next month, series against Argentina.
I also think Matthew Leckie's going to be asked to leave the field to get his dressing reapplied or something done. Or maybe not.
Change meantime for City. It's not Leckie going off, but Andreas Kuhn, who was heavily involved in the game's only goal. Alessandro Lapade to be his replacement for whatever remains of this grand final, which as it stands is a mere 11 or so minutes plus stoppages.
Well, this is the second really long stoppage. There was the Lockie Jackson stoppage for his ankle as well. There should be a chunk of time coming at the end of the 90. And the way things are going, you get the feeling Victory are going to need it. They're struggling for air at the moment. Look at that, every ball that's played is almost immediately surrounded by 3, 4 or 5 Melbourne City players. It's been quite stunning, their output in this game.
Matty on the turn, straight at Duncan. He immediately releases Casey Boss, and look at Jonathan Cohen. That's been Melbourne City to a T all night. Miranda. Here's Arzani. Can he create a bit of magic here for Victory? Looking back post. Oh, the suggestion of a handball there. Pretty strong ones from the Victory supporters. We'll come back to that. Meantime, it's jammed hopefully towards goal by Badalato, but was there an arm in play there inside the penalty box? A Melbourne City arm.
The ref's already waved it away. Pereira plays it, but clearly hits his arm.
I mean, he doesn't know anything about it.
He's got no idea where it is. He's losing his balance.
Well, the arms are away from the body. It's that old conversation again, Hart.
Yeah.
We're told that VAR has checked it, and He said there is no penalty as the protests continue. Here's Bayes. They have set a higher threshold this season for VAR involvement, which in general I think we applaud. Mackey's ball, rather tired. Arzani trying to skip clear of Atkinson. Easier said than done. Oh, it's like wading through treacle at the moment for both teams.
Dead set, like players possessed, Melbourne City at the moment. And despite the difficulties that they're having, I've got an amazing credit to Melbourne Victory, who are fighting so hard.
Thank you for your attendance here at the 2025 Isuzu UTE Grand Final. The final crowd, 29,102. A new record.
You might have just heard on the public address system the crowd figure tonight, 29,902. That is a new stadium record for Amy Park. Congratulations to the two sets of supporters. Beats the previous record, which was 29,871 for a rugby union game between Australia and England here in 2016. And that Victory Sydney Grand Final a year before, when 29,843 attended. But the Melbourne City fans have got their toilet seats aloft in the air. In case you're unaware around the world, that's a tradition too in Australia. The trophy itself, lovingly called the old golden toilet seat. It's a very Aussie thing, Hubs.
Yeah, well, for the international viewers, it's not a fashion accoutrement. In Australia, it's specific for final day. And at the moment, it's the City fans who will be parading their dunny seats around town.
Time ticking away on Victory's dreams. I'm not sure they've tested Patrick Beach once in this second half. They may do yet. Boss. So you remember back to the elimination final last season. It's virtually with the last kick of the game, Victory got an equaliser through Nisham Velupillay. Sarah's ball into the box, fended away by Truey. Here's Daniel Arzani looking for the angle, and it's off the head of Ferreira. Up but not yet away off Atkinson. Brought down by Arzani. And shuffled back towards Boss. Mashash. There's just no room for Victory to operate it. City have been so diligent in their work. Boss. Edged forward by Miranda. Laid off by Badalato. This little reverse pass for Insera. This is better from Victory. That's where it breaks down via Geordie Valadon. Again, there were just too many bodies in the way. Drawing the contact from Jugarkovic. Maybe the first signs of tiredness.
Well, it's taken a while, if indeed you're right, Simon. But at any particular moment, Victory never really feeling comfortable that they've got an option to deliver into the box, or there's enough players in the box of their colour to service. The free kicks, they've looked half likely at least.
Ball dependent upon Daniel Arzani's delivery. One or two he's put in this evening have been a little too flat. See if he gets this one right. Looks decent. Burgos went for it. Matt Leckie. with the clearing header. And here's Ugarkovic through the legs of Valadon. And that's a foul and a card against Ryan Teague for holding back his opponent.
Great run, Ugarkovic. Brilliantly kept in by Cohen in the first instance, and then Ugarkovic. And Ryan Teague stepping in to remove any chance of City doubling their lead at this point, at least.
It's that time of the night. The trophy starts being prepared. The stewards start walking around the ground. City looking to put the final nail in victory's coffin. Goal kick, and Jack Duncan's in a hurry to get the ball. And victory finds something. Anything, a half chance. That's the latest little skirmish between Arzani and Atkinson. They've had a good go at each other all night, and Andreas Kuhn, who's already been replaced with the hoodie, coming to the defence of his teammate and having a pretty intense conversation with Daniel Arzani. Looks like a hoodie you'd run into at the local shops. Two late changes being readied for victory. Won't be surprised to learn they're both attacking players in Reno Piscopo and Jing Rees. Zinedine Mashash has tried hard tonight, but found space hard to come by. And Daniel Arzani takes his leave as well. Good touch by Tilio. Manetti can't get around Rawlins and impeded his opponent, but good advantage played by Adam Kersey. Badalato streaked away, but again, City are back in numbers. You can hear the groans from the victory supporters. Piscopo. Handed away by Truitt, brought down by Teague. Driven back by Lopane. There's a late challenge by Leckie, and Leckie's in the book here. He's got to be careful. Adam Kersey perhaps thought about going for the yellow card, and then maybe quickly realised that Leckie was already booked.
Well, he's been just enormous tonight, Matthew Leckie, really. Sitting on that yellow card, time ticking for victory.
Deep inside the final minutes of the regulation 90. We're told there's going to be 7 minutes to be added on. Teague's free kick came off the head of Rawlins, but went the wrong way so far as victory are concerned. Retrieved by Rees. Kept alive by Enceda. Rees again. Rawlins. Angle wide by Teague. City always seem to have that extra player providing cover. Goodness me. They're almost literally wrestling to gain 1 metre of ground.
Yeah, it's just been incredible. It's like the Battle of the Somme. Thankfully, literal devastation, but they just stopped fighting so hard. I've got to say, Simon, I don't know about you, but 7 minutes seems skinny for me. That was a really long stoppage for Matthew Leckie.
Yeah, I thought it might be closer to 10, to be honest.
But it's been so tense.
Is there a chance here for victory somewhere? In front of their noisiest fans. Teague's delivery. Back post. That was a clear-sided goal for Josh Rawlins. But he couldn't hit the target.
It's as close as they've come. Set pieces and corners is when they've been able to put City under most pressure in this second half. And Rawlins wins the air space but can't control the header.
Off-season arrival from Perth Glory. A big chance perhaps to put his name up in lights and maybe send this grand final into extra time. As it is, it's going to be City's championship if it stays this way. Rawlins. Again, look at the energy from City, although Mehmeti is fresh off the bench. Bajic isn't. A bit of afters with Insera, which Kersey saw and acknowledged. A tale of utter frustration for those in navy blue. Sit for Mehmeti, who then clips the ankles of Josh Rawlins.
With every stoppage helps Melbourne City, of course.
Another victory, not even of a mind to delay taking the free kick so their own man can get up. There was his Bajic. Leaning all over his opponent. Here's Reno Piscopo. Held up by Lapane. Jink of the shoulders from Casey Boss, but straight at Leckie. And the victory fan in front of me throws his head back in frustration. It's been that sort of night for Arthur Dillis' team. Here's Piscopo. Can he find something? A low cross steered away by Ferreira at the near post. Badalato to try and set things up again. And then dragging back Cohen.
No, just not good enough, really. On balance across the night in those tight exchanges.
Big puff out of the cheeks from Aurelio Bidmar. He knows his team are very close now.
Well, look, they get the half break and then the ball from Piscopo's under hit. Badalato tries to turn out of trouble. Touch is not good enough. And then when it's 1v1, City win it. It's been a large part of the story all night.
Long by Beach. And Mehmeti's done really well here to get away from Rawlins. Well, there was a bit of pinball, and then a drop here for Leckie, who nods it wide for Jugarkovic, who decides to head for the corner and try and run down the clock. Understandable in many ways.
Well, they've been in no hurry all night, really, to restart the game, certainly once they've taken the lead. But they're very close.
City fans back up on their feet. They've had a quiet 10 minutes as victory pushed and probed. They've had so many grand finals where they've come off second best. A yellow card issued for time wasting. Marco Tilio getting in the way of the ball.
Well, yeah, and the referee doesn't have to stop that. At this time of the game, there's been an extra yard or so. Big deal.
Late change for City. And it's going to be a player who at the moment stands as the match winner. Jonathan Cohen. will take his leave to be replaced by the much more defensively minded, of course, Callum Talbot. He's had a good game tonight, Cohen. Worked hard for his team, took his goal well.
Well, this is what he's about to deliver Melbourne City the title. That's not going to deliver him many new friends in the victory half of Melbourne. That's an amazing image, that.
May well be on the back page of tomorrow's paper. Burgos pinged for another niggly foul. There's been a succession of them. Matt Leckie has literally spilt blood for the cause tonight.
He has been incredible tonight. Just incredible.
And we are close now to the 7 minutes of added time. Going to be 3 major final defeats in a row for Melbourne Victory. Very much looks that way. City fans preparing to celebrate. Might just be time for Victory to get the ball up the other end. But no, the whistle goes. And Melbourne City, so often the bridesmaids, are not tonight as they shake off their nearly man tag and win their first derby in 787 days, and with it, the championship trophy. What an achievement in what was an injury-riddled campaign that at times threatened to derail their season. Aurelio Vidmar wins a first championship as Victory are vanquished yet again in a major final. Melbourne is City blue tonight, thanks to Jonathan Cohen's 10th minute winner. Melbourne City, champions of Australia for a second time. And in the end, Andy Harper, after that opening goal that came very early, City just stifled the life out of Melbourne Victory.
Too good. Eye-wateringly strong. They withstood a very sharp start from Melbourne Victory in this game. Victory couldn't test the goalkeeper because the line in front of him was too resolute. Leckie with that block on Mashash. What a game he had. And they were just possessed tonight, Melbourne City. An amazing, amazing set of physical numbers, I'm sure, generated. Frustrating for Victory, who fought hard, but they just quite simply didn't have the answer. And one-on-one across the field, they didn't cope, and City deserved their win.
Well, they've been at the big dance on so many occasions. It's their 5th in 6 seasons. Only once before have they won the most cherished prize of all, but tonight is their night. And as we said earlier on in the game, once they get in front, they are difficult to shake. City then are the champions in front of a capacity crowd here at Amy Park, the biggest ever to watch a sporting event at this venue. That's the full-time scoreline. Melbourne City 1, Melbourne Victory 0. And from me, Simon Hill, for the very last time in the commentary box on the A-League, I say good night to you, and thank you so much for listening over the last 2 decades.
I'm here with Nathaniel Atkinson, mate. The celebrations, you were going bonkers. I know you've won this before, but how much sweeter is this to do it against your fiercest rival?
Yeah, amazing. Not just to do it against our rivals, but the season that we've had. You know, we've had so many injuries, and to finally get them back, and to, you know, we missed out on the league, but to come here and fight and take out another final series is amazing. Yeah.
And wasn't it a fight? I mean, there was a lot of aggro, niggle out there. Tell us about the tactic coming into this one, because you seem to really frustrate your opponents out there tonight.
Derby's always like this, always going to be physical. Obviously, we had a lot of scruffs in there, but, you know, that's a derby. But coming into the game, we knew if we matched them with the fight, we'd let our football do the talking. And when we got that early goal, we knew with our defence that we could keep a clean sheet. And, you know, we've been working so hard on the training pitch, and it shows with the clean sheet today.
The defence, mate. I know the goal scorers, they always get the plaudits, but was this championship, this season, won on the back of your defence, because it was the stingiest, the best in the competition?
It's a cliche saying, you know, defence wins leagues, and the forwards win the final series, and, you know, everything came together at the moment. You know, from the defence to the attack, everyone worked hard. You know, it was been a long season, and all the boys that obviously were missing out through injuries today, they're a part of this as well.
Just quickly, the party tonight is going to be pretty intense, I'd suggest.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think a couple of the Socceroo boys have to disappear tomorrow morning, so you know, I'll let Papa deal with that. But yeah, you know, just on that, like, it was just amazing to do it in front of all of our families as well. So yeah.
Well done. Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Congrats.
I guess it's been a journey over 8 or so years. Since I was 12 and finally get it done now. It's really surreal.
Just want to touch on the fans. I mean, look at that stand up there. They've been absolutely so beyond impeccable all night. They brought the noise, they pushed us home. Champions of Australia, what do you have to say to the fans up there? Because I mean, look at that stand right now. It's absolutely buzzing.
Thank you, City fans.
Come on, City! Come on, City! Put your hands together. Let's go to Mexico.
Tara, I have the captain, Aziz Bayic, the captain of a championship winning team. How does that sound to you?
Unreal. You know, I don't have words other than to thank this group of players and staff and the club. You know, we've worked hard for a long time, and you know, yeah, it hasn't sunk in just yet, but oh, that feels great. Championship words, that's for sure.
I can see how much this means to you. You were here from the very start when it was Melbourne Heart. I remember seeing you at a game in Albury, 40 degrees. Your mum and dad were there. They travelled everywhere to see you, travelled all over the world to see you. What will this mean to you and your family?
Yeah, like I've said it many times that, you know, this club means so much to me. You know, they threw me a lifeline when I was pretty much dead and buried for professional football. And, you know, when I came back last year, the only goal I had was to bring a trophy to this football club. And look, like I said, I can't thank this group of players and staff enough. You know, it's been a team effort, that's for sure. But oh, this one feels so good, Zappers, that's for sure.
And what about the goal? You set it up, you went on that run, bit of fancy footwork, set it up for you. You've been so good in that position all year. What was the instruction tonight? Because Melbourne Victory got the jump on you in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, look, we knew that it was going to be a tough game. You know, they're a good side, they've got threats. But, you know, we knew, you know, in these games, it's a one-off game. You're going to have moments where you have to ride the wave, the pressure, and this. And my team, mate, they're just so strong, you know. You see Lex leading by example today. Can't even see out of that strapping band. Cuts everywhere. Kai, you know, I can name every single player, but, you know, what I'm so proud of this team is everyone contributed this season. You know, we've had so many injuries and so many players come in and out. A lot of boys that missed out that have played majority of the season. someone like Sammy that's contributed. You know, that's what makes this championship more special, because it hasn't just been 11 or 15 players. It's been from the youth team up.
Well done. We'll see you up on that stage very shortly.
Thank you very much.
Scotty McKinnon's got Marco Tilio with him.
Yes. Let's just let them embrace first, because this is what it means. Mate, we were just chatting off camera. You said before this one you've been in a few grand finals, but why did this one really tug at you?
Yeah, obviously I think the whole week, the momentum of the derby and the sellout so quickly, it just sort of all built up really nicely into a big game. And you always want to play in these types of games. As a footballer and as a kid, you want to play in finals and in these types of games. And in the end, there was one job on the line, and that was to win the game, and we did that. And I just can't believe it happened, because I'm really happy.
What's the overriding emotion? Is there a bit of relief in there as well?
Yeah, I don't know. This one just feels so much sweeter.
I wonder why.
Yeah. And yeah, this year's been a roller coaster for players, for Vinny, for the whole club. Like, we've gone over so many obstacles, and to get ourselves into this position, into Champions League, and then to win, be champions tonight, I think, yeah, we deserve everything we got.
And I know you got a celebration to come, but you're also Socceroos as well, so you can't party too hard, can you?
Nah, of course, there's a World Cup qualifiers coming up, so I'll make sure I'm on the flight tomorrow feeling good, because that's more important than celebrating. I'll celebrate with the boys and my family that are here, and yeah, get ready for it.
Unbelievable performance, mate. The man with a huge target right there on his back, but he got through it, feeling sore. It's over to you, Zappers. Well done, buddy.
Thanks, Scotty. Roderick Miranda's been good enough to join us. So tough. Thanks for joining us. 2 years in a row now. You surprised everyone by getting here tonight. Was it just one step too far?
I think it was one step too close. They scored in the only action they have in the first half. But this is football. When we don't score our chances, we always say the gods of football, they punish us, and I think that's what happened. We had plenty of chances in the first 15 minutes. We started the game really well, and they have one chance in the first half. They score. After the second half, they defend really well. They try to just sit deep, try to defend us. Yeah, it's really tough being in this position for 2 years in a row. But hopefully next year we can go again. And this just showed the mentality of this group. We never gave up until the end. Was not our night, but regardless, I think we need to say a word for all the fans that came tonight. I think this is what football is about. Didn't win on our way, but I want to say a big thank to all the Victory fans, all the Victory members that came to support us. And my only promise to them is next year we are back again to do better.
You had so much to deal with this year. You lost Patrick Kisnorbo early on. Arthur's come in, and he's got you to this position. I don't think many people would have predicted that, so it says a lot about you as a leader and what the club has done this year. So well done, and all the best for next season.
Thank you very much.
All right, Tara, some harsh words there. So well said by Roderick Miranda.